Hey, it's your girl Shay Shay. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time, and welcome back if you've been here before. R&B is not what it used to be. That's what people have been saying for a while now. Over the past decade, it's been quite literally surpassed by pop and hip-hop on the charts, in radio, and in mainstream attention. But just because it wasn't dominating doesn't mean it disappeared. In fact, in 2025, it has gone through a renaissance, which is set to carry on into 2026. Kehlani's Folded hit the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earned Grammy nominations for Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song. SZA won Best R&B Song at the 2025 Grammys for Saturn, and Moni Long's live version of Made For Me took home Best R&B Performance, proving the industry is recognizing the genre's revival. And it's not just about awards. The sound itself is shifting back to soulful vocals, emotional storytelling, and rich arrangements. This is R&B reclaiming its space, reminding everyone why the genre matters. Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Don't take anything said here too seriously. It's just jokes, gossip, and opinions. Please relax and enjoy the video. Everything presented in this video is alleged. I'm only spreading the word on the curb, and in no way I'm giving my personal opinion. So, R&B may not be dominating the charts like pop or hip-hop right now, but that doesn't mean it's gone. In fact, we're seeing in 2025 and 2026 is a return to the soulful melodic sound that made the genre legendary, and listeners are here for it. Take Kehlani's Folded. It hit the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earned Grammy nominations for Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song. This isn't just a hit, it's a modern track built on classic R&B foundations, emotional vocals, tight melodies, and storytelling that makes you feel something real. Then there's Coco Jones' I See You, which reached the top 20 on the Billboard R&B charts and was nominated for R&B Song of the Year at the 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards. Her vocals are smooth, heartfelt, and layered, a reminder that R&B fans are gravitating towards substance and authenticity over flashy production. And lastly, there's Leon Thomas's Mutt, also proving that new voices can carry the genre forward, although he's not really that new, he's been around for a minute. Charting on the Billboard Hot 100, the track blends classic soul-inspired runs with contemporary beats, showing that R&B can evolve without losing its identity. The trend is clear, listeners' tastes are shifting back to emotional depth, vocal skills, and storytelling.
I mean, I think R&B is such an expansive genre. Like, I think this whole conversation of if R&B is dead or, what have you, I think R&B is one of those things that's taken so many forms. And I think it puts anybody who sings into an R&B category, but there's so many cool subgenres, and the Weeknd has changed so many times. Like, the Weeknd when I was in high school isn't the Weeknd that we have now, and he's been able to transform and go through these crazy musical metamorphoses at each steps of it. And it's only gotten larger and larger and larger and larger. And also he's been so kind to me over the years and so supportive, and he's not one of those people you hear he's unsupportive behind the scenes. He really rocks with people and supports them and pushes them. So all around, I'm super stoked about it.
Think about R&B's biggest eras, the 90s into the early 2000s. They were dominated by groups like Destiny's Child, TLC, En Vogue, Boyz II Men. R&B groups dominated because their harmonies, shared personalities, and vocal interplay gave the music a richness that solo artists just couldn't replicate alone. Over time, that group dynamic faded from the mainstreams. Labels focused more on solo stars, and listeners got used to singles over albums, voices over voices together. As R&B started to fade from the charts from a position of dominance, people noticed that R&B groups started to fade especially. People often complained that R&B wasn't what it used to be. Recent resurgence of R&B is in part because we're going back towards R&B groups. Newer acts people are actually watching include Flo, a British trio keeping the group sound alive. Sarin, I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, who made history on the adult R&B airplay charts, Diva Girl, and Imagine, highlighted by BET as modern R&B groups gaining traction, and No Guidance, a vocal-focused band the scene is buzzing about. These aren't throwbacks, they show collective vocal energy, and that it's still relevant in this day and age, and that tastes are shifting back towards the harmony-rich sound R&B used to thrive on.
The music industry looks like. This is what I predict is going to change in the next year, and why we're about to see this one specific type of artist completely explode in 2026. We are about to be in a major girl group resurgence. Obviously, it's been a huge part of K-pop for a long time, but after the year that Cat's Eye had, and even the success of artists like Jade or Adele, who previously came from a group setting, because girl groups have always been an iconic part of music. Some of the highest charting female artists of all time are girl groups. But this era of it is really only pop pop music right now. Like, we haven't had a Destiny's Child or R&B equivalent, which is why I think Flow is about to have an insane year. Their first ever album debuted at number 3 on the UK albums chart. It got them their first Grammy nomination in the R&B Progressive Albums category. They have a crazy roster of collaborations from Kaytranada, Missy Elliott, Chloe and Halle, Glorilla, even Cynthia Erivo did the intro for the album. They just opened for Kalani on tour, which I think is huge considering the fact she also came from a girl group. I just think there is so much demand and excitement for girl groups right now that it is only a matter of time before one pops off in another genre, and I really think it's going to be Flow.
And this is where the conversation really shifts, because for years people weren't just saying R&B was gone for no reason. A lot of the criticism was valid. For a long time, R&B fans had the same list of complaints, and honestly, they weren't wrong. Songs were getting shorter and shorter, sometimes barely hitting 2 minutes, bridges disappeared, verses felt rushed, everything sounded like it was made to survive on playlists instead of telling a story. Then there was the excessive cursing, not intentional, not expressive, just filler. Add to that the random rap bridges that had nothing to do with the rest of the song, and a lot of records started to feel disjointed, like 2 different ideas stitched together for streaming purposes. And probably the biggest complaint of all, the lack of soul. R&B drifted away from storytelling, away from tension, release, vulnerability, the thing that made R&B so great. Songs stopped building, they just ended. What's interesting now is that many of those issues are quietly being corrected. We're hearing longer running times again, bridges are coming back, vocals are taking priority over cadence. Even when artists curse, it feels more intentional, less filler, more like emphasis. The genre is slowing down enough to let emotion breathe. This doesn't mean every release is perfect, but it does mean that the genre is clearly responding to feedback. From fans, from culture, from its own history, R&B didn't die. It lost its footing and now it's recalibrating. Which is why this moment feels different from past comeback conversations. This isn't nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, it's course correction. R&B is remembering what made it powerful in the first place and building forward from there.
Y'all let me know if I'm tripping on this, but I done always felt like R&B has done way more for hip-hop than hip-hop has ever done for R&B. Not even to pit the 2 genres up against each other, because to me, I feel like R&B is hip-hop, hip-hop is R&B, because it's just, we just format the 2 genres differently, but in essence, they the same, right? But I always felt like, for example, in the early 2000s, we had a whole Y2K era where it was a lot of hybrid songs. You know, you might have a rap song with an R&B hook. And in my eyes, bro, I feel like it's the R&B element of them songs is what helps us remember them songs the most. That's what we love about the song the most. Like, don't get me wrong, we appreciate the mixture of the 2. But, bro, a lot of hip-hop songs, even past the early 2000s, I wouldn't even fuck with them songs if it wasn't for the hook. If it wasn't for a crazy, you know, a smooth hook on some shit, I wouldn't even fuck with a lot of them rap songs, bro. Some of them, not all of them. But that's just how I feel, bro. How y'all feel about that?
Please leave all your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section down below, and leave a like if you've enjoyed this content so far. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Shay out.